Okay, so you mentioned that you were hung around a lot of first gen, and there's this thing in African culture they talk about, like if you're not a lawyer, an astronaut, not an astronaut. Where did that come from?
Sorry, engineer, lawyer, doctor.
Astronaut. That's funny.
Yeah.
That you are not, successful. And I think that you're very successful. But my question is like, has your upbringing like shaped what your purpose is? Because I do think that there are a lot of first gen, not just African children, but like of other cultures that do fall into one of those three categories. And all these people are not passionate about, these three things,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
they're not their purpose. So was there like
Hmm.
pressure to choose certain things to like fit in a certain mold that might lead to a purpose, or
Yeah. So my parents were actually kind of different in the sense that, yes, they wanted us to be one of those careers. Like growing up, I heard about, be a doctor, be a doctor, be a doctor. Like a lot of my peers that are also first gen. So I've got like Indian friends and Pakistani friends who their parents kind of said, Chinese friends who their parents all said the same thing, like be a doctor, be an engineer, be a lawyer. And yeah, I don't, but my parents kind of they did give us a little bit of room, a little bit of space. So there was an expectation that we would all, go to college, and that we would all be successful. So my parents, for them, if I had come up to my parents and I had said like, I want to be an artist, or I want to do music, or I want to paint for a living, they would have been like, hell nah, you can't do that because they don't make no money. But they were also okay with the fact that we didn't want to all be doctors or engineers. And I think like I have 5 siblings. So out of the 6 of us, only one of my siblings actually went the medical route. Well, my other sister went into psychology, and she's doing like psychiatry and stuff like that. So she's still there. She'll be a doctor at the end. So they'll get 2 out of 6. So
that's a third. That's not bad.
That's a third, not too bad. But my oldest brother is like into real estate. He's a real estate investor. And my parents, but before he started doing that, he actually did accounting and finance, and then decided, I'm not going to be an accountant or pursue like a career in finance. I'm going to go back to school for music and like do like piano or whatever. And my parents were like, what is going on? Right. They were like, what is going on? But he kind of did that. But now that he's into real estate and he's very successful with that, my parents couldn't be happier. Yeah. They have nothing to say. And if my brother had continued he still does music, but not full time. And if he had continued to do music and had become like very, very successful in music, and by successful, I mean like monetarily successful, or financially successful from doing music, then my parents would have been fine with it, because Nigerian parents want you to be a doctor, lawyer, nurse, engineer, because they know that those careers make money. And if you do something that's not traditional, then you better make money. And if you do make money, they'll be proud. If not, no. Okay. basically. So, but they never presented it to us as purpose. It was just like, you have to live in this world and you have to have a job. And
you have to feed yourself.
Exactly. And these are the jobs we want you to do. I don't really feel that I had a very clear conversation with my parents about purpose. I was raised in a Christian home, so that has that provides some context to, I guess, that conversation. Because my parents, if you ask them what their purpose was, they would say, oh, to serve Christ, to serve God. And so that for them doesn't look like anything specific, in the way that those conversations kind of evolved for me as I grew up and went to college and had conversations with people. And even now, people tend to be very specific about those things.
Yeah,
but
I am purpose to do this.
Exactly. But my parents would say, like, our purpose is just to serve God and, to please God. And so you can do that in hundreds of ways.
That would make sense of why, like, they mentioned, like, be a doctor, but they didn't, like, press be a doctor. Because if their thought process is, like, for them, I am purpose to serve God or serve Christ in their context, right? And whatever that means, right, for you,
Yeah.
that would be like, and whatever that means for my children. So that kind of makes sense that they wouldn't pressure you, which is non-traditional from what I have seen. I'm not
Yeah, it is
African, by the way,
slightly,
but
like
yeah,
slightly. I mean, they
slightly.
were still in there, they were still in there, but yeah, there was a little bit of freedom
Yeah.
for us to kind of figure out our own way as far as careers are concerned. Other
Yeah.
areas, not so much. No